slope. So we're going to use this graphic organizer to take notes on slope. All right, first things first, let's talk about what it looks like. So positive slope is going to look like that. Negative slope is going to look like that. Zero slope is going to look like that. And undefined slope will look like that. So that's very important for you to know. Alrighty, slope from a table. We'll start right here. So to find the slope from a table, you can use finite differences. So that means these thingies. Now you just got to ask yourself, how many jumps or how many steps is it to get from -4 to 2? Well, first of all, if you go from -4 to 2, you're increasing, and you're increasing by 2. If your brain doesn't work like that, all you have to do is subtract -2 minus -4, and that'll give you +2. Okay, so that's another way you can do that if you can't just kind of count. And then to get from 15 to 10, well, obviously that's going down, it's decreasing, and it's decreasing by 5. So the slope is going to be the difference in y divided by the difference in x. That's what the triangle stands for. And that would be -5/2. Okay, we'll just go clockwise around the web. Slope from a graph. Okay, when you're doing a graph, my suggestion is that you use rise over run. So find 2 points on the graph and then draw a triangle like that, a right triangle. Now start from the left point, and then you're going to count to get to the right point. So we have down 1, 2, 3, 4. So we had to go down 4. So that'll be -4 since we had to go down. And then we're going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3. Since we had to go to the right, that's positive. So down is negative, up is positive. So down is negative, up is positive, right is positive, left is negative. Okay, and let me move this out of the way. So the rise over run is going to equal -4, that's the vertical, and then the run is 3. So that's going to be your slope. All right, continuing to go clockwise. Slope of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. So what that means is if you have two lines that are perpendicular or make a 90-degree angle with each other, their slopes are going to be negative reciprocals. Okay, so negative just means to change the sign. Reciprocal means to flip. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. So let's look at the positive line first, right there. So we see that the slope is 1, 2, 3, up, and 2 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So again, that's up 3, right 2. So that's +3 over 2. Rise over run. Don't forget rise over run. That's where we got the 3 and the 2. And if we look at the negative line, this line is going down 1, 2, and then it's going to the right 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So down 2, right 3. So the down 2 is -2, the right 3 is +3. So look at these two fractions. They flipped, right? The 3 was here, and then it became down there. The 2 was here, now it's up there, and then it changed sign. It became negative. It was a positive fraction, now it's a negative fraction. And that is how perpendicular reciprocals work, perpendicular slopes work. Slope of parallel lines are congruent. That just means that they're the same. So let's take a look at this line here. We have 1, 2 down, 1, 2, 3 to the right. So that's down 2, right 3. Don't forget down is negative, right is positive. And let's take a look at the other one. Hold on. Okay, so down to right 3, so it's down to right 3. Let's take a look at this one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Same thing. Negative 2 over 3. Now, just to say this real quick, this is really important. You can also write a negative fraction with a negative in front of the whole fraction. So you can write it like this, or you can write it like this. Either one is correct, okay? Or you can put the negative at the bottom, so you can actually erase that. You can actually put the negative at the bottom. As long as there is one negative only, it makes the whole fraction negative. If you have two negatives, it makes it a positive fraction, just FYI. Okay, now we have slope from slope intercept form. This one's really easy. There it is. So the answer is 3. I'm sorry, the slope is 3. Don't forget M stands for slope. Don't ask why. All right. And then we have slope from point slope form. Same thing. This one's super cheesy easy. Boom. There it is. So 5/6 is the slope. Alrighty. Now we're going to move on to slope from a standard equation. So this one is kind of weird. Maybe you haven't seen it before. So this is standard form right here. And that means this 10 is A. So A, do it this way. M equals negative A over B. So 10 is A, so B is going to be negative 4, and C is 32. We don't really need the C though. Alright, so let's take away the A, and let's replace it with 10. The negative doesn't go anywhere. Then let's take the B, replace it with negative 4. So A, again, is 10. B is negative 4. We have to change the sign of A. So since A was a positive 10, now it's a negative 10. And B was already negative, so B just stays the same. All right, and then we just reduce that. And since there are two negative signs, just like I told you before, negative here to negative here, that makes this a positive fraction, a positive slope. All right, slope from 2 points. Okay, so this one you just replace each of these in the slope formula. So we're going to call that x1, it's a different color, y1, x2, y2. And then we're going to replace it here. So y2 was negative 6, y1 was negative 8, x2 was negative 24, and x1 was negative 10. All right, and then you're just going to put that into your calculator exactly how it looks. And then that'll be I'm going to just do this in my head. I'm not in my head, I'm just going to write it down real quick. And that'll be negative 14. Okay, and don't forget, again, the whole fraction is negative when there's just one negative sign. All right.